In today's episode, we focus on Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis. Freud revolutionized our understanding of the human mind, delving into dreams, the unconscious, and the complexities of human behavior. Join us as we explore his most profound and thought-provoking quotes taken from his books, writings, and speeches. Let's dive into the mind of Sigmund Freud. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. The ego is not master in its own house. Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. Most people do not really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. In the small matters, trust the mind, in the large ones, the heart. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. We choose not randomly each other. We meet only those who already exist in our subconscious. The first human who hurled an insult instead of a stone was the founder of civilization. Love and work, work and love, that's all there is. Words have a magical power. They can bring either the greatest happiness or deepest despair. Where ID was, there shall ego be. Civilization began the first time an angry person cast a word instead of a rock. A man should not strive to eliminate his complexes, but to get into accord with them. They are legitimately what directs his conduct in the world. The goal of all life is death. He that has eyes to see and ears to hear may convince himself that no mortal can keep a secret. We are what we are because we have been what we have been. The more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. Religious doctrines are all illusions. They do not admit of proof, and no one can be compelled to consider them as true or to believe in them. The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind. No neurotic harbors thoughts of suicide which are not murderous impulses against others redirected upon himself. The madman is a dreamer awake. The only person with whom you have to compare yourself is you in the past. In mourning, it is the world which has become poor and empty. In melancholia, it is the ego itself. A civilization which leaves so large a number of its participants unsatisfied and drives them into revolt, neither has nor deserves the prospect of a lasting existence. Anatomy is destiny. The unconscious mind governs behavior to a far greater degree than people suspect. I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. Children are completely egoistic. They feel their needs intensely and strive ruthlessly to satisfy them. Where does a thought go when it's forgotten? Neurosis is the inability to tolerate ambiguity. He who knows how to wait need make no concessions. In the depths of my heart, I can't help being convinced that my dear fellow men, with a few exceptions, are worthless. A woman should soften but not weaken a man. Dreams are the disguised fulfillments of repressed wishes. A man who has been the indisputable favorite of his mother keeps for life the feeling of a conqueror. The first requisite of civilization is that of justice. No one who shares a delusion ever recognizes it as such. Illusions commend themselves to us because they save us pain and allow us to enjoy pleasure instead. Whoever loves becomes humble. Those who love have, so to speak, pawned a part of their narcissism. The aim of psychoanalysis is to relieve people of their neurotic unhappiness so that they can be normally unhappy. The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing. We may insist as often as we like that man is a creature of reason, but he persists in behaving as though he were a creature of instinct. Where there is ID, there shall be ego. I am actually not a man of science at all. Science was my detour. I have found little that is good about human beings on the whole. In my experience, most of them are trash. Men are more moral than they think and far more immoral than they can imagine. He does not believe that does not live according to his belief. The voice of the majority is no proof of justice. Loneliness and darkness have just robbed me of my valuables. One is very crazy when in love. The first indication of stupidity is a complete lack of shame. Public self is a conditioned construct of the inner psychological self. The conscious mind may be compared to a fountain playing in the sun and falling back into the great subterranean pool of subconscious from which it rises. I prefer the company of animals to humans. They are so much more simpler and honest. Dreams are often most profound when they seem the most crazy. The mind is like a battleground where one's deepest fears and desires play out. Sigmund Freud's insights into the human psyche have shaped our understanding of ourselves for over a century. His words still challenge us to think deeply about our behavior, desires, and inner conflicts. Thank you for watching this episode of Who Said What. If you found these quotes as fascinating as we did, please like, share, and subscribe for more wisdom from the world's greatest minds. See you in the next episode.